Hello everyone, at this part
We're going to introduce the basic access and the PSK communication configuration for Fed APs. And the first part is about the basic access config.
the background of this lab is shown here. A company wants to deploy a wireless network in the conference room so that everyone can access the internet in meetings. The company installs an indoor Fed AP in the conference room to build a Wi-Fi network. And as a network administrator, you need to complete the basic access configuration for the Fed AP. And we hope that after finishing this part, you will be able to understand the working principle of the Fed AP and get familiar with the basic access configuration of the Fed APs. The lab topology is quite simple. We have one Fed AP and a switch, and the requirement is that the layer 3 switch connected to the AP serves as a DHCP server to assign IP addresses to the STAs, which we use PC to represent in the figure. The PC connected to the Fed AP belongs to the WLAN 10, and the network segment 172.16.10.0 max length is 24, and the gateway is 172.16.10.1. Okay, and to finish the lab, here is showing us the configuration ideas. Firstly, because all the APs are feed AP by default, so we should switch the AP mode first. And then create a user VLAN on the AP, which is VLAN 10 here. Create a WLAN on the AP. Config radio interface 1 on the AP and associated with the WLAN we have just created. And next, config the default gateway on the AP. Configure an Ethernet interface for the AP. Configure DHCP on the layer switch to assign IP addresses to the users. Okay, and next, let's do the lab together. And to configure the device, of course, we should log in the CLI, right? And here, what I use is PuTTY. And I will connect my laptop with the device through the console cable. And if we use the console cable to log in the device, for example, in PuTTY, firstly you should choose which serial line you are using. And let's see how to check which COM port we are using. In your system, you can find the device manager. And in the device manager, here find the ports, and you can find your USB serial port is associated with COM5. It's for different equipment is different, so you should confirm it before you log in the device. And for me, here is COM5, so I just need to enter COM5 here, and the speed is 9600. Here, connection type choose serial, and click open. After clicking open, you could see a page like this, and you are required to enter the password. The default password of APs could be Ruijie or admin. So here, let's try Ruijie. Okay, the password here for me is admin. And when you use through the lab, you can try these two passwords. Okay, and then we should enter the configuration view. And firstly, we should check the AP mode, right? AP mode. Here, you can find that the mode of this AP is FAT. I think some of you will get confused because I said that by default, most of the APs are feed AP. But why is FAT here? Actually, because if we switch the mode of the AP, it will reload and it will take some time. So to make it convenient, before I record this video, I have already switched it to be FAT mode. Okay, but when you do the experiment by yourselves, you have to check the mode first. If it's a fit AP, you should use the command AP mode FAT. Use this command to switch the mode. Okay, this is the first step. And then let's see, create a user VLAN on the AP. And in the requirement, you can see the user VLAN is VLAN 10. So we create a VLAN 10 here. And the next step, create a WLAN on the AP. So let's do it. Dot 11 WLAN 1. So we have created WLAN, which is WLAN 1. And the SSID is Ruijie. Okay, this is a configuration of the WLAN. And since we have created WLAN, next is to associate it with the interface. Okay, by using the command interface dot 11 radio 10, we have entered the configuration view of the radio interface 1. And the next encapsulate dot 1Q10, we will encapsulate it with VLAN 10. And the next WLAN ID 1 associated with WLAN 1, which we have just created. Okay, and the next step, configure the BVI10 on the AP. And let's create it first, interface BVI10, and the IP address here as planned is 172.16.10.254, and the mask is 255.255.255.0. But pay attention here, the BVI10 is not the gateway of the users or of the STAs. Pay attention. It's just the management IP address of this AP. And actually, this step is optional. Okay, do not get confused here. And after this step, next, configure an Ethernet interface for the AP. Okay, so configure the Ethernet interface. Here, what we use is Gigabit Ethernet 01 and encapsulation .1Q10. We encapsulate with VLAN 10. Okay, this is about the configuration on the FAT AP. Okay, and the next we're going to configure the layer 3 switch, which is on the right in this figure. And to configure the switch, we should firstly remove the console cable from the FAT AP and connect it with switch. Okay, and press enter. You could see that we have connected to another device. And to distinguish it from the FAT AP here, we will change the name of it. How about this? We change the name of this device to be switch. Okay, and now let's see what we should do on this switch. Since all the users are in VLAN 10, and the switch will act as a DHCP server of the users, so we should create VLAN 10 on it. And except that, since the gateway is on this server, so we should create the SVI interface VLAN 10 and set the IP address to be 172.16.10.1. Mask length is 24. And this will be the gateway of all the PCs, all the STAs. Okay. And after that is a configuration of the DHCP. Firstly, we should enable the DHCP service on this switch. And next is the configuration of the DHCP port, IP DHCP port, and the name here we use is we use 10 IP, means all the users in VLAN 10. Since the user's network segment is 172.16.10.0, so network 172.16.10.0, and mask is 255.255.255.0. Okay, and the gateway of all the users is 172.16.10.1. Okay, so until now, we have finished the configuration of this DHCP port. But in this DHCP port, two or in this segment, in the segment 172.16.10.0, there are two spatial addresses. The first is 172.16.10.1. This is a gateway, right? And another is 172.16.10.254. It is a BVI10 IP on the FAT So these two IP addresses cannot be assigned to the users. And by user command, IP DHCP excluded address 172.16.10.1 and 172.16.10.254. So we have excluded these two addresses and they will not be assigned to the users. Okay, this is quite important. Okay, and the last step is the configuration of the interface G01 on the switch. Of course, it's connected with the FAT AP, so interface G01, and we should set it to be the access port. Since all the users are belongs to WLAN 10, and even the physical interface on the other side of this link is encapsulated with WLAN 10. So here, switch port access WLAN 10. Okay, so until now, actually, we have finished the configuration, both on the switch and on the FAT AP. Okay, and at this time, we can verify the results. Here, the way to verify the result is to search the WLAN with SSID Ruijie and connect it to try to connect. So let's have a try. Okay, here you can find this is Wi-Fi, right? Which name is Ruijie, and let's try to connect. And actually here you can find it's open, right? This Wi-Fi is open, means do not need any authentication. We can connect to it. And here to verify the results, I will use my mobile to search for the Wi-Fi signals. And you can see here, here is a Wi-Fi called Ruijie, and we will connect to it. Wait a moment, it's opening IP address. Okay, it's connected. And let's see the IP address I have got. You can see here is 172.16.10.2. Right, this is a network segment we have configured in the network. Okay, so since the configuration is succeed. Okay, based on the FAT AP basic access configuration lab, then let's see the PSK authentication configuration for FAT APs. And just now we have finished the basic configuration and have already deployed the wireless network. But during the verification, you can find that we are not required to enter any passwords because we did not enable any authentication. So here, what we're going to do is to configure the authentication of the network to improve the security. Let's see here the configuration requirements, complete encryption and authentication configuration on the basis of the basic access configuration of the FAT AP, and to configure the PSK authentication mode for the AP in WLAN security mode. And let's see the ideas. Firstly, we should enter the security configuration mode of WLAN 1, and then enable WPA authentication. Set data encryption mode of WPA authentication to AES. Set the access authentication mode of WPA authentication to PSK, and the key is 1234567 8. Okay, so let's see how to do that. On the AC, firstly, of course, we should enter the configuration view, and then WLAN sec 1. We have created a WLAN security profile, and the ID is 1. Then security WPA enable means we have enabled the WPA, and security WPA ciphers AES enable means we have used the AES to encrypt data, and the security WPA AKM PSK enable. So the link authentication will be PSK pre-shared key, and the last step is to set the key WPA AKM PSK set key ASCII 1234567 8. Okay, so until now we have already finished the configuration of the authentication on it. Okay, and to verify the result, firstly we can check. We can check if we have configured it or if the command we have entered take effect by using command use running config include, or here use begin. So begin with WLAN sec. Okay, you can see here is what we have configured. It has already taken effect. And of course, to verify the result, we can use our mobile phones to connect to the equipment and to find out if we need to enter the passwords and if the password work during the accessing of the network.
Okay, now I will use my laptop to verify the result. And in this Wi-Fi list, actually you can see a Wi-Fi which name is called Ruijie, right? It's the one we have just configured. And click it, you can connect to this Wi-Fi. But since we have enabled the password, so you need to enter the password here. And the password is 1234567 8. Let's see, 1234567 8, and click next. You can see that we have successfully connected to this Wi-Fi. Right? Since the configuration we have done is succeed.